Students, during our online interactive class session number 2 for algorithm and flowchart, we have faced some network problems. Because of that, the communication was very poor. Therefore, I had made this video again for you. Please go through it and try to understand. Dear students, in today's class, we are going to learn how to write an algorithm and draw flowchart for the given problem having some decision making, that is, condition or selection. And dear students, you can pause the video. If you are not understanding, you can rewind it and again see it. And please write it in a copy. And the question in the last that I'm going to give, you have to do it yourself and you have to send me in the WhatsApp. Any doubt regarding the understanding of the particular video or the question, you can call me directly or you can WhatsApp me. This is the question. Write an algorithm to check whether the given number is even or odd. So very first, we have to, if you are solving any problem or you are writing any algorithm on the flowchart, you should first think of what is the input. Now here I said input. So what is the input? Input is, if you go to the question, it is asking for a given number. So this number is the input. So we will not take the number, since number is not given, we will take the variable instead of it. So I will write, you have to find out input variables. This is very important. First you have to find the input variables. This should be your first step, it should come in your mind. Okay, after that we'll think of what is the output. Now sometimes the output will be a simply a statement, whereas sometimes it may be a variable which you have to display. Now in this case the output is this one. We have to display whether the given number is even or odd. So this is the output. Now once we know the input and we also know the output, now we have to find how I am going to convert this input by some particular means to output. I can say how I can translate or process. So the third, the most important is the processing. That is the processing logic. Means, what is the input? What process you are going to use to generate the output. This step is the most important step. You may know the input variables, you may know the output, but if you don't know this, then how you are going to translate the input or how you are going to process the input into output. So that is what is the problem solving, and algorithm is basically used to solve the problem. So for this we will first write the algorithm step 1. Now since I have in my mind that these are the input variables that I have to take the output or I have to display the output, and this is the processing logic. So step 1, start. Step 2, now here I am going to take the input. Input number n. So input number n. Now I have taken the input. Now here I have to write the processing part, the third step. Step 3. Now, what is the processing logic? How are we going to find whether the given number is even or odd? Basically, we'll divide. Say I'm taking a number 4, I'll divide it by 2. So 2 to the 4, the remainder is 0. If I take 5, I divide by 2. So here if I do, then 2 to the 4, remainder is 1. Now, here the remainder is 0, means it is completely divisible. So this is an even number. And it is not divisible completely as we are getting a remainder. So this is a odd number. So we'll take that concept. We have seen that there is a particular function or an operator known as the mod operator. Mod operator, which is going to give us the remainder when we divide the two numbers. So that concept I am going to use here. If and mod 2 equal to 0, then print even number, else print odd number, and if. So we have done this one, step 4. Stop. So let me explain you. Step 1 is start. Step 2, we are taking a variable n because it says given number. So we are inputting a variable, means the user is going to enter data. This is the n. This variable is the variable where the user that he is going to enter will be stored in this variable n. Now this is the most important for here. This one is going to give me the remainder. If this condition is true, then only this will be executed. If this is true, then will be executed and the even number will be printed. If this is false, then it will not go to then, it will jump from here to else, and then this will be printed. So once it will be printed, both of them, then they will here in, then it will not come to else, it will directly go from here, come to end if, and then come to stop. Here also the same process. So I hope you have understood this. If any doubt, you can ask me. Okay, dear students, now we are going to see the flowchart for the question that we have discussed earlier. This is the algorithm, I have written it here. So, very first, step 1, start. So for that, you have to draw the start stop symbol. After that, step 2, that is the input statement. So here I also draw the input box. So right here, input number n. Next is the if condition. So for that we have to use the diamond shape, that is the conditional structure that we use. if n mod 2 equal to 0. Now here there are two branch outs, one for yes and another for no. Either you can write yes here or no here, or you can use either this, or you can use this. It is up to your convenience, but you can't use the remaining three together because here only two are allowed, because there are only two ways by which it can split out. One is yes, so I am taking yes here, and no here. So yes said even number, so I can write simply the even number, or to be more specific I can write print even number, and here I will write for no, I write print odd number. Dear students, first write the statement, then draw the particular figure. So here input output box, so this is the flowchart for the given algorithm. This algorithm you have write earlier, but in exam sometime you may be asked only draw the flowchart. At that time you can roughly write, okay, in anywhere, maybe either right or left in short, and by seeing that you can draw the flowchart. If you can do it without writing the algorithm, it is the best way. So but here also the same thing you have to keep in mind, that what are the input that I have to take, means what are the input variables, then what are the output variables, and what is the processing. If you take any particular question or any problem, you will think of in this way. In the day-to-day life also, you unknowingly think in this way only. But once you go for your computer, then you will think in this way only. In maths also, you will think in this way only. Okay, I will explain you that in the next question. So I hope you have understood this. No need to write this part. This is simply for explanation part. I hope you have understood this part. Here, once the number that is entered, here it will check. If this is yes, then it will print even number. This is the then part. Then you see it is directly coming to stop. That's what I have shown you earlier, that if this is yes, then if this is yes, then it will come here, then it will go here, and then it will go directly. Actually, you can skip the end if here. You can directly go to stop. If this is no, it will jump this statement and come to the else statement. Then it will print out this. It may consist of many statements. Okay, here we have only one statement, or there will be expression also. So here only one statement, so we'll execute this and then come to stop directly. So here also see, if it no, then it will print the odd number and then it will go to stop directly. Okay, dear students, so here the question is, as you are seeing here, we have to find the person whether he is eligible to vote or not. So here also we have to think in the same line. Very first we will think of what is the input variable or variables, what are the outputs. As I said, output can be a variable or it can be a statement. So here we have a statement again. Then the processing logic. So if you see here, we have the input variable. It said that it will accept the age of a person. So the input variable is age. What is the output? Output is the statement, this eligible to vote or not. So this is the output that we have to display. And what is the processing logic? Here in the question it is given. This is the processing logic here. So here everything is very crystal clear. So we can start writing the algorithm. Step 1, start. Step 2. So we have to first accept the variable from the user. So you can write here input age. I think there should not be, I should not give any statement here. The age is quite nature understood, so I am simply writing it as age. Then step 3. If, as given here, age is greater than equal to 18, then what? Print eligible to vote, else print not eligible to vote. Then and if. Next is step 4, stop. So here again we are using the if statement. So here if this condition is true, it will come to done, means the program counter during the process of execution, it will follow this sequence. Age, after age will check the age here. If age is greater than or equal to 18, then will be executed and this print statement will be displayed, eligible to vote. After that it will not go to this part, it will jump from here to directly the stop. If this is false, try to understand this. If you understood this, Then any question given of this type, if you know the logic, processing logic, you can easily write the algorithm or you can draw the flowchart. So if this condition is false, then it will not go to this statement, it will come directly jump to else statement. Okay, and then from else it will go to stop. I think this is clear. Therefore, you have observed in the previous flowchart that once we go for this condition, then we branch out, something is being displayed, and then these two join together and go for stop. See here, this is joining. This is the next question. We will write an algorithm to accept second language, that is Hindi or Assamese. If Hindi, print section B, otherwise section A. So again the same, we will think of the input variables. Then we have to go for the output. Then we will think of the processing logic. Okay, here the input variable, that is the language. Of course, in this variable now we have to store a string or a word. Till now that we have seen, we are accepting a variable usually store a number, but it can also store a character or a word or a sentence. Okay, in computer terminology we see them as a strings. So here it is going to accept Hindi or Assamese. The output, here it is given the output section B or section A. This is again a particular message. So output is very clear here, section B, that is a statement, or section A. The processing logic is given here if Hindi. Okay, the processing logic is given here. I am refining the processing logic. It means, it says if language is equal to Hindi. Class, see here I have written this Hindi within double quotes. In computer, basically whenever it is not a number, okay, then we basically put within double quotes. And of course the variable you will see later on how to define it or how to initialize, how to declare it. But for the time being we will use this notation to show that this is a character or a word or a sentence, that is in short a string. So let us now start writing the algorithm. Step 1, start. Step 2, input. Now here I am writing the statement language. I am using this as a lang as a variable that I have discussed earlier. Step 3, if lang is equal to Hindi within quotes. Then okay, I am rubbing out this, we don't need this now. Then print section B, else print, okay, I'll write within double quotes this also. Let us make it a, you also make it a habit, section A. Then and if, and then step 4 stop. I hope you understood this. The only difference than the previous one was that in the previous examples we have taken the variable as a variable which can store numbers. But remember, a variable can also store a character or a string. So if it is a string, we basically put within double quotes. And again, if you want to display a message, okay, it is better to put within double quotes, because you will be confused when output having a variable will be given. So we will try to put within the double quotes. So I hope this is clear to all of you. The same concept, if this is true, then part will be executed, that is print section B, this will be printed. If this is false, then it will come to print section A. So dear students, we have seen the algorithm for this particular question. Now we have to draw the flowchart. So it is simple, we have to write start, input, language, I can say L also, it is not necessary or compulsory that the variable that are taking in flowchart and the one which you have assigned in the algorithm should be same, but a variable which you are using in a given particular flowchart or algorithm, it should be constant, or means that algorithm, that variable should be used during the rest of the particular flowchart or the algorithm. So here I have to write if L is equal to Hindi. Here I can't change this L to LANG. Okay. In copy, when you're drawing the flowchart, please use your scale. So this is the flow. So dear students, we have seen the algorithm for this particular question. Now we have to draw the flow chart. So it is simple. We have to write start, input, language. I can say L also. It is not necessary or compulsory that the variable that are taking in flowchart and the one which you have assigned in the algorithm should be same. But a variable which you are using in a given particular flowchart or a algorithm, it should be constant, or means that algorithm, that variable should be used during the rest of the particular flowchart or the algorithm. So here I have to write if L is equal to Hindi. Here I can't change this L to LANG. Okay. In copy, when you're drawing the flowchart, please use your scale. So this is the flow. So dear students, this is your practice question. You have to write an algorithm and draw flowchart to extract the length of two line segment and check whether they are equal or not. As I have discussed earlier, you have to think for the three important points. First, the input variables. Second, what is the output? And third, the processing. If you have any doubt, you can go through the videos again and write the algorithm and draw the flowchart for this question. For the above questions that we have discussed, you have to write in your copy and you have to send me in my WhatsApp. While drawing the flowchart, please use scale so that the figures are correct and it looks good to see those figures. please write algorithm and flowchart, draw flowchart in different pages. If any doubt, please feel free to call me or WhatsApp me. So dear students, waiting for your response. So dear students, I'm sure that you have gone through the video carefully. You have paused wherever you thought that you have not understood. You have rewinded it and gone through the video again, and you have noted down the questions along with the algorithm flowchart in a copy, and you have written it or drawn it nicely. And I'm sure that you are going to do the practice question and send me not only the practice question but also all the three questions that we had discussed today. So thanks for your patience hearing. Till then, have a nice time. Be safe. Be healthy. Bye.